Hola amigos! We have news today regarding our favorite Cataclysm private server Whitemane and its realm Maelstrom and the future. The end of cataclysmic progression on Whitemane. No question mark, it is the end for Maelstrom at least. But will we see an immersion of new, fresh realm? And will we have to do it all over again? Accelerated adaptive progression, increased honor, conquest, justice, and valor caps and rates. Optional extra raid ID reset per week. Timeline adjusted to finish progress before Cataclysm Classic hits. Enter Deathwing. The only question is, do you want a fresh Cataclysm? We have the option to vote. Vote and share our feedback and thoughts about this. Do we want a fresh Cataclysm or do we just want Maelstrom to stay the way it is on the last patch? For the time being at least. And there's an extra clarification added. We will never be closing Maelstrom, so the Maelstrom realm is there to stay. Whether it's gonna be more or less active, it is not going anywhere. And all Deathwing characters will be moved over to Maelstrom when the progression ends, if we go that route. And when you click on the vote option, this is where you're redirected. Deathwing, an adaptive progression realm of Whitemane. Deathwing is a proposed Whitemane Cataclysm realm to launch after Maelstrom's progression is finished, and all characters of Deathwing shall be moved to Maelstrom once the progression finishes. Consecutive content patches will be released 3 weeks after Realm First Heroic for each raid, as Maelstrom content lasted approximately 20 weeks for each phase, and Deathwing content would last minimum 4 weeks. All caps and currency rates would be raised by 5 times. I wonder how the PvP seasons would then work. Would we see the end of every PvP season after those 4 or 5 weeks only? Or do we get just one PvP season for the entire duration of Deathwing? Additionally, there will be split ID from the first day of raiding, and players would have an option to reset every raid, 10 and 25 separately, once per week by talking to Chromie, to complete the progression before Cataclysm Classic releases, and to allow players to experience something completely new. Was the question, should we open Deathwing as proposed, or should we do it in 1 year, when Cataclysm Classic progression ends? Please be advised that if we would open it this year, we would listen to all your feedback regarding almost everything, but the timeline would need to be accelerated no matter what. We value your feedback and we want to tailor the experience to suit you. And here's the timeline. This is the quickest possible timeline, and it was created considering every heroic raids will fall the same week they were introduced. So it assumes that every new raid content will be released 3 weeks after current heroic content is cleared. So the launch of this new fresh Cataclysm realm on Whitemane would be on the 23rd of February, which is only less than 1 month and a half away. So that would probably closely follow the Wrath of Lich King launch, which, if there's supposed to be many changes on this realm and they're supposed to listen to the community, I don't know, that could be a little bit too much of work, don't you think? Because there's definitely gonna be many bugs that need to be fixed with Wrath of Lich King in the first initial days and weeks. 6th of March, only 2 weeks after the normal raids opening, Baradin-Hold Argoloth, the first boss and vicious PvP season begins. 1 week after, we have the heroic raids and also Zulaman and Zul'Gurub opening. Then less than a month later, Firelands, that's 3rd April, and 1st May already Dragon Soul. And now the question is, should we open Deathwing Realm as proposed and include players' feedback, or should we open it in 2025 when Cataclysm Classic progression is over? Well, I think if you open Deathwing, that essentially kills Maelstrom, or at least takes just enough players away from Maelstrom, so it's gonna be really hard to play any kind of PvP or PvE on the server. Guilds will be disbanded because there's so many people gonna be leaving for the fresh experience. I think the better decision would probably be keep Maelstrom. People that will play Cataclysm Classic at least have a place where they can go back to, whether they don't like Cataclysm Classic, don't want to pay, or they don't want to level characters on Cataclysm Classic, because leveling on Cataclysm Classic is going to take ages, especially compared to private server like Whitemane. So there's gonna be many people that will just want to experience the end game, whether it's PvP, PvE, farming, whatever it is. There's gonna be a huge amount of people that will either stay on Maelstrom or want to go back because they already have leveled characters on it that are ready to be played in max level, which I think that would be a big advantage of having an older realm, even though it's only 1 year old. There's already so many people that have max level characters on Maelstrom, compared to taking the population away from Maelstrom to play on Deathwing for only few months. Even though there's this character migration from Deathwing over to Maelstrom, even when it ends, I've been pretty vocal about not liking the idea of fresh realms anymore. I'd rather see Maelstrom exist forever. But as they say, they will eventually, or they want to eventually, launch Deathwing after Cataclysm Classic is over anyway. So the fresh is gonna happen sooner or later on Whitemane for the Cataclysm expansion anyway. I wouldn't be angry if fresh Deathwing happened. I think it would be still interesting. But I'm also afraid of what it's gonna do to the Wrath of Lich King development and to the population. Because there's definitely gonna be a bunch of people that will want to play one realm, whether it be Wrath of Lich King or Cataclysm on Whitemane, and listening to player base, maybe coming up with some new interesting changes. I mean, who knows? Oh, and let me add one thing that I would like to see on this Whitemane Deathwing. If it comes out, I want to see options how you can play solo. I want to see 1v1 rated arena where you can queue up by yourself without the necessity of having any arena partners, and mythic dungeons, so you can play with only 4 other people, which is way easier to find than 9 or 19 other people, and get actual raid rewards for that. Mythic plus dungeons, just ways how you can play the end game content, rated content, be competitive, playing solo for when you feel like you want to play but you don't have your raiding group ready, you don't have your arena partners ready, you don't have your rated BG group there with you. Just make it possible so that we can play alone, be competitive, get end game best in slot rewards. That's the one thing I want, both for PvPers, PvEers, whatever it is in the game. Please make this possible. Are you gonna vote for Deathwing or against Deathwing? Let us know your thoughts. Whitemane's gonna be watching, reading the comments under the video, so let them know, and also let them know your suggestions on the Discord server, so this experience is more tailored to you and what you prefer and like to see on a Cataclysm realm that you would play. Thanks for watching, like the video as always, and don't forget about MADMONQ, supplements for gamers. And I'll see you on Whitemane, whether Maelstrom, Deathwing, or the upcoming Wrath of Lich King, Realm Frostmourne.